Hey everybody, let's do another San Antonio Tech Dad hangout, I guess. Let's get this thing up and running. How are you guys doing tonight?
Well, I'm well.
Well,
Go
we got
Spurs,
thumbs
go.
up and Wills.
That's
Yeah,
right.
go Spurs, go. They're back home.
Finally home.
The road trip is finally over. They posted a really cool time lapse. I'm sure they do that every year, but showing the cleanup from the rodeo and then the transformation over back to the basketball arena. That's really neat to watch. I mean, they're able to turn it over so fast, and it's just a completely different arena. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty neat.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, yeah, let's talk about this. People who have watched the show before might say, "Hey, wait a minute, there are 4 people here now." No, you're not. You are not imagining things. So I'm Alan. That's Corey over there. Drew's down there in my bottom right-hand corner. I have no idea what Blab's picking it up at, but we've got Garrett Heath joining us today. Garrett, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us a real quick little bit about yourself. You work with us at Rackspace. What else is going on with you?
I work at Rackspace with these guys. There, I am on the social media marketing team. I've had a random bunch of roles at Rackspace, everywhere from project management with cloud engineers to content marketing to managed operations analyst. So have been able to do a lot of those things. I also have the local blog, SA Flavor, which you can probably see in my avatar. So that's a lot of fun. We just recently released our Fiesta medal, the chicken on the stick Fiesta medal. So that's been going well.
That's
and
plural,
oh man, it's a lot of fun. Really happy about that. And if for whatever reason you see me like jump or whatever, I am in my backyard, and it's kind of like wildlife kingdom back here. There's a bunch of possums and raccoons. So
Dude, I was gonna ask, because the first time I've seen someone do a live podcast with a fence in the backyard, like I was like,
go.
I was like, oh.
That's great. That's great. Compliments on your Wi-Fi. That's amazing.
I'm probably the only one who thinks that. I'm like in the dead zone. I cannot get Uverse, Grande, gigabit anything. Like it's pretty bad. We're kind of near the military base, Fort Sam, and so I think that there's like some sort of secret covert action if they don't want my house to have good Wi-Fi.
You're getting shield over that area that just like denies all Wi-Fi is what it is. It's amazing.
That is absolutely true.
That's tough. I mean, there's really just been I guess what are the 2 big ones? Time Warner and AT&T have been kind of the 2 big ones, and then now we've started to see Grande come in, but Grande won't make it over to my side of town, and so I've kind of been limited in my ability to choose. So I'm using AT&T versus their fiber now, and
Google Fiber.
It's going to be here soon. So we'll see. I'm anxiously waiting that as well. So.
Just want to pay once and be done. That's
yes.
That's all I want to do. $300. Take.
You can have my money.
Have my money. Internet.
Okay, so here's something that we can talk about, right? And I've been actually thinking about this for just a little bit. So if you, they have that, what is it, like 5 megabits or something like that. It's not a terribly fast connection, right? But it's $300 up front, and that's it for 7 years. I think they're guaranteeing. I'm thinking about doing that and getting that as like a secondary, like Internet of Things. I wonder if they'll let me do 2 separate ones, where I pay by the month for the 100, for the full gigabit, and then pay that $300 up front just to have that like second tier of line that I can go in there and set that up as its own like private network just for Internet of Things for connected devices, things like that. So I'm not using all that bandwidth.
Jump over
all 2 gigabits of your or 2 megabits of your gig connection, Alan. Come on.
I hate to spread it that.
Well, not just that.
You go the Time Warner Cable route or you go the AT&T route, you're already going to get throttled bandwidth. So you're going to get megabytes throttled down to like 30, right? So you get that as the cheaper option. You get like the 10 megabyte route. You hook it up to your Kindles, your iPads, your iPhones, and that's literally your like multimedia connection. And then everything else is on Google Fiber. Your workstation, your direct VPNs, the stuff that you actually require, your cable. Yeah, like the things that actually matter are on those things, and I agree with that. I think it's interesting because you have the opportunity to pay $300 and have internet for 7 years, and then be able to have a secondary internet that, you know what, you can pay for the cheaper internet because it's really just making sure your phone can update. That's really all you're doing at this point, and you can switch back and forth when need be, which, in my opinion, great because we have options now. So.
Yeah.
Options are good.
Our 2 current options are poor.
Like, I just upgraded my internet like today. Today's exciting because my bandwidth got updated, and I got that 300 megabyte Time Warner though. Like, yeah, but my wireless is about 30 to 40.
Yeah.
That I'm like, thank you, Time Warner.
Yeah. Well, there you go. But whatever we have is working. So we're out there. We're able to talk to each other. I guess the optimistic side of things is saying, hey, this is, magic. If we were to tell our, 5-year-old selves that we were be able to do this, we'd probably look at it as magic. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, when I was 5, it was on a watch. But hey, Dick Tracy can't solve all the problems.
Right. Where's the keys?
Yeah. Well, hey, I tell you what, let's knock one of
this
these
sounds
out
like
of the
a
way.
tech dad podcast.
Like there's kids back there.
There's some children. See, we're not lying. We're not lying, San Antonio.
Podcasting, all of these things are happening.
We are fathers.
You just have to believe us. We are in San Antonio.
Yes. Well, we started off saying "Go Spurs Go," so that's a pretty good guess.
Yeah.
Let's try to get back onto our original track here. And one thing, Garrett, I'm glad that we have you on. Wish we could have had you on last week, but we didn't quite make it. But let's talk about the great taco kerfuffle of 2016.
Oh my! I mean, shockwaves have been heard from Austin to the Rio Grande Valley. From the Panhandle to the shores. I mean, it's a crazy debate, but it really is centering down here in San Antonio and Austin. And I thought that it had jumped the shark. I really did. I thought it was completely over. Like, oh, this thing's going crazy. But then 2 things happened that I think are amazing. One, both mayors got into it because both mayors, both from Austin and San Antonio, realized that this is a golden PR opportunity. And when you have a golden PR opportunity served up to you and you're in politics, you swing for the fences, baby. Oh, yeah. And so here we have it now that they are actually maybe going to have this taco throwdown. And then the second big thing that I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to, but San Antonio is going to have a major presence at South by Southwest. ChooseSA.org. And it's going to be unbelievable. We're going to be one of the cities that is featured there. In the years past, DC was there. But San Antonio is going to be there. And what do you think our breakfast that we're going to be offering people who come by the San Antonio booth is going to be?
Is it macchiato and cheese?
I don't know. I mean, it clearly says on the site, you can go to ChooseSA.org and see our South by Southwest lineup. Clearly breakfast tacos. And so I have an interview request out with those folks. And I'm like, guys.
Who's doing the catering?
That's exactly right. Of all the times not go light on catering, this is the moment because those Austinites are going to be going to our booth. And it's not a booth, it's a whole experience. I mean, they have a huge space rented out. I think they're going to be there from the 11th through the 13th.
Nice.
It's going to be the shirts are designed by Cruz Ortiz, the local artist who does a lot with the pearl. He did the Absolute Texas bottle design. And so it's going to be pretty amazing. And we're going to have to bring it with those breakfast tacos. But some of my favorite lines that have come out of this was Gustavo Arellano. He's the Ask a Mexican columnist from the OC. And he made a comment about, Austin taking pride in their breakfast tacos is like a, teenage boy taking pride of his first chest hair. And I just thought that was oh, Gustavo, man. I mean, smacked him down a little bit. And he's a great guy. And if you ever get a chance, his book, Taco USA, is phenomenal. It's about how Mexican food is sweeping across the country. But that's kind of my perspective on the taco debate. I think you can probably guess which side I come down on, but it's been a lot of fun.
You come on the right side is what happens.
That's right. That's right.
Right. So just San Antonio being at South by Southwest and representing a taco experience, right? An event. Like, we're there to represent. We're there to say, hey, we're the best of the best. Come get some. So get your treats, get your tacos. So that I support this 100%.
Oh, I do. I just hope. I mean, I'm just telling you, they better have some legit people there. There better be, one of those Kamals that they're making the tortillas fresh, because people are going to be looking at us. So choose SA folks, if you're watching now, please do us proud. Please do us proud.
Most definitely.
I think they will. Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I might just have to sneak up there to get me some good tacos.
I'm going.
Oh, wait, I can get them all over the place around here.
Today that the Obamas are going to be at South by Southwest. So good luck being on any roads ever for
Central Texas, South Central Texas. I've actually left for work next Tuesday right now. So I'm going to leave right now.
I purchased the time travel phone booth to hop into to get me to work successfully. So, I'm going to try that out.
You let me know.
If you have one of those, that would be great. Give me a ride sometime. Nice. All right. So tacos, they're better in San Antonio.
That's all you need to know.
Yep.
That should be our city slogan: tacos. They're better in San Antonio. Hold on, I gotta make a note of this.
Everybody would come in for that. Everybody would come and get tacos. That's
tacos.
And I just want to answer Faisal's question. Yes, it is warm. It's very nice outside. It is very mild. So we're enjoying our 2 weeks of spring before it becomes summer.
Well, it's funny. Like this weekend actually is supposed to be between 78 and 79. So Sherwood Forest Festival. Not to derail, but Sherwood Forest Festival is doing their jousting tournament this week early, specifically because the weather is going to be so nice in San Antonio, McDade. So, yes, enjoy it. Go outside, play in all the things.
I will be gardening this weekend.
Yeah.
Right on.
My garden has to have enough stuff that I can make salsa. That's my requirement for a home garden. So
that's a great start.
So we can, test for radioactivity and for science.
I'll make sure that for everyone's safety, I don't feed my children before I feed you guys. Make sure you know.
Absolutely.
And we're so fortunate too, because the only two things I think I can grow are peppers and tomatoes.
That's all you need.
Grow like wildfire down here in San Antonio. So
peppers growing like wildfire.
Throw them garlic.
Somewhere is that a thing? Oh, man. What else do we have in the agenda, Alan?
Well, let's see. I guess since we've already hit the heaviest topic on the agenda today, let's talk about a little something lighter. Apple versus the FBI. What do we want to say about that?
Are you pointing to me? You pointing?
I'm pointing to you because this was your idea. So, you get to start this.
Here I am. I'm stuck doing this. So I'm finding this whole debate fascinating. I think we're just kind of sitting in the midst of these pendulum swings back and forth between my privacy is the most important thing and security at all costs, and back and forth and back and forth. But the idea that the government would require a company to build technology, to break technology that they already built, is a pretty compelling conversation for me and in the tech industry. Even very recently this week, there was an announcement of some flaws found in some encryption technology that it's antiquated now, but had been the backbone of our web, basically the encryption point to point between websites and things like that. So SSL has been a major component of our web, and problems were found with it. And now we've got the government asking a private company to break the encryption that they built for their environment. And so I think there's a lot of tensions, and I think it's easy to see both sides of that debate. But being a textile person, not textile, but a tech style person, it's a tech file. Yeah, it's very interesting, especially as we're getting more dialed into the political conversation, being a day removed from Super Tuesday, and that that whole thing is really kind of picking up steam. So, that's exciting. I'm curious, was she a jolly good fellow, or was she a jolly good?
A jolly good fellow. It's called advertisement that decided to have on Google at this point, and I was like, really?
Lovely.
Now? Thank you.
Okay, so she was a jolly good fellow. Okay. That had nothing to do with my
iPhone was a jolly good fellow, sir.
It was.
So,
and I'm also the other interesting thing I had a conversation about yesterday was the fact that all this encryption stuff kind of came after the big Apple's addition of encryption to their generic general approach came pretty quickly on the heels of some pretty big security breaches from some of their customers. And so that conversation, I don't think is really necessarily being had. And I think the whole thing is very compelling, and kind of wanted to get an idea where everyone else is viewing that from.
Well, I'd like to start off by saying that I think the FBI are all wonderful people, and they're doing a great job, and I love them very much. That said, I think they're completely wrong on this one, and I really think that this is just a political play where they're looking to find a case that has a lot of public sympathy, that has I think there's a very limited amount of information that they can actually gather. In fact, I think that it's pretty safe to assume that there's not going to be any actual information gathered off of this device. I imagine there'll just be a bare minimum there. But I think that this is something that would be able to set a precedent. And that's what worries me, is that they'd have the precedent then to compel private companies to basically break the fundamental way that their technology works, which it really does diminish our national security to break that back door. It's even just the corporate espionage that's now going to be, or that would potentially be possible. Like, that's something that I don't think you want to. I really don't think you want that to happen. So it's a good thing to keep the device secure. And in fact, there's even some debate within the government. The NSA actually wants stronger encryption, and there's enough metadata out there. There's enough other ways to gather intelligence about the people that they're looking for than to actually read the actual email. So I think that the gains that would be made by this one case for one, but for any of the cases in the future, I think that the gains that you would make would be so minimal compared to the disadvantages of breaking encryption. I just think that I really hope that they make a good decision and don't break.
Well, that data is getting more and more rotten as time goes on. It's less and less useful. And so at a certain point, the request to get access to that data has so little value. Let's say they do turn over access, or they're able to provide access to that phone. The contents of that phone is no longer nearly as useful as it would have been, right after the event. And so I don't know that there's, at this point, it seems like an inevitable decision is going to be made, and then actions are going to have to be taken, regardless of the actual results that could come from breaking that technology. It's like Corey may have had something to say before I kept rambling, but now I don't see him or hear him.
The FBI came and got him.
I'm sorry, Corey.
Yeah. Garrett, do you have anything to add on that one?
It's just such a complicated and emotionally charged situation. I think like the one thing that folks need to understand is that when you break one phone, you break them all. And I think that's the issue, right? When you provide that entrance into one phone, then that vulnerability exists for everywhere. And think about it like, telling a secret, right? What did Benjamin Franklin say? If the only way to keep a secret amongst three people is if one of them's dead. Two of them are dead. Yeah, two of them are dead. There you go. Even worse, right? George W. Bush that quote. But I think that's the thing that probably gets lost on a lot of the maybe folks not familiar with encryption and how that stuff works. And it's really easy to say, oh, if it was one phone, yeah, break it. But once that vulnerability exists out in the wild, it's there. So it's just a really, really tough situation. And I feel that this also is a situation that's being polarized. So it's just tough.
Yep. Agreed. Yep. Looks like we're trying to get Corey back in here. We'll welcome you back whenever you can wrangle everything into working there. All right. So, Drew, I think that you also wanted to talk a little bit about something a little less important to national security, Warby Parker.
The clarity of my vision has very little to do with national security, which is valuable. Hey!
I was so upset with the conversation. I just dropped. I was like, I'm done. I don't even want to talk about this. You're on time order and your 300 megabytes. Appreciate you.
yeah. This is the guy with the new.
You're Google writing a letter right now.
Yeah.
I would like better. Thanks.
Thank you.
So your vision, you can see us.
I can. I have these particular Warby Parker glasses on now. As a long-term wearer of spectacles, my frustration is you can't see, and then you go to buy glasses at a place where you have to take the ones that are on your face that help you see off,
right,
and put on frames and see yourself. And if you want to bring the people who care what they think about the way you look with you to the place, that's an option, but it's increasingly difficult as the more people you care about grows. For me, my wife is really the person I'm most concerned about being a fan of my face. What the beauty of Warby Parker, and this is the second go round for me, is that you get to use neat web tools. They have some pretty cool approaches to helping you try on glasses, some of which you upload a picture and can manipulate the frames and get a good idea of what you should select. But then you also get to pick 5. They'll ship them to you. You can wear them around for 5 days, make your selection, and then it goes back, and they'll build your glasses for you. Well, normally you have to go and sit, and they do measurements of where your pupils are so they can get the lenses in the right spot, but they found some pretty slick ways around that. And so they're a pretty slick e-commerce organization that has solved one of my frustrations in life. It only happens every year or two, but it is really nice to be able to get a few selections to kind of narrow down the scope instead of walking into that crazy store with racks and racks and racks and racks of very vaguely different frames and start at one end and start trying them on. That's a recipe for frustration, and somebody always is getting bored and tapping their toe, and then you just pick something and leave, which has been my experience in the past. So I'm doing Warby Parker now. So I have a box that they sent me. It's got my five glasses in there.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna pick one, and then I'm gonna order it, and then I'm.
So Drew, I'm going to support you on this because the last pair of glasses that I got were actually from Warby Parker. So my girlfriend introduced me to this. She said, "Hey, why are you going to the store and doing all this stuff with eye masters and all the the local fair?" She goes, "When you can just order it and they just show up at your door." And I was like, "Really?" And I'm currently wearing contacts because I just went to the eye doctor, and I just ordered a Warby Parker box that I just sent back with my order because I was like, "Hey, these are great. I like these frames, these work. But you can actually spend 5 days. You can spend a day individually wearing glasses outside with I wear it with my contacts. With my glasses on, I want to see how they feel.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good idea.
Yeah, so you wear them every day. You would wear a different pair every day and see how they feel, what's comfortable, what do you like, don't you like. And at the end of the 5 days, you can send it in and have an educated opinion on what you just wore, which is great because you don't have that opportunity in the iMasters or the whole. How
they feel 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in, 5 hours in is going to be completely different.
Are they
how
heavy?
It looks is one thing, how it feels.
And I work third shift, so I'm the guy that puts them on, and I'm like, I got to work for the next 10 hours. So I'm like, all right, let's see how these work. Are they comfortable? Are they lasting? Is there anything that am I getting irritation behind the ears? There's a lot of options there. There's a lot of other companies out there that do mail order glasses. You can send your prescription in, send your sizes in, do all this other fun stuff. But Warby Parker gives you the opportunity to try them before you buy them. And you don't have to. You can get the box for free, see the glasses, send them back and be like, I didn't want any of them. They're like, cool. You want to try 5 more? Yeah, I want to try 5 more. And they send you 5 more glasses. It's really a great opportunity to try things. I always order 4 glasses that I would typically wear, and then the obscure glasses pair that nobody would ever wear this, but it kind of looks like I would like it. So I
no, I'll tell you this though. I think this is an interesting conversation just about Warby Parker, and it started with Amazon, with Prime, and everything. It's really hard out here for a small potatoes entrepreneur, if you think about that, to really respond to that. I think that's what's fascinating about the whole shipping notion, right? Because think about that, and I know it's glasses, but just in general, anything with Amazon, you're going to get overnight, right? And I know that there's
same day.
Even the same day, right? Yeah, and I know that that's it's really interesting because there's a lot of local businesses. One shirt place that comes to mind for me from San Antonio is Barbacoa Apparel. And I love their shirts. If anyone gets a chance to check them out, it's Barbara Company Apparel, Barbara CO Apparel. They're awesome. But you know what? You got to pay $6 for shipping, right? And it's this weird kind of feel. It's hard for these smaller entrepreneurs. I'm speaking from personal experience as well. Shipping out I make shirts and some other things as well. But Amazon, Warby Parker, all these guys have changed the game. I'd be curious to see how smaller entrepreneurs respond to that, especially, in the digital space. I think that's a fascinating topic.
Okay, let's talk about that, Ren. Let's talk about Warby Parker and all these. So we live in a generation that everything for $15 can be delivered at your door. I'm actually I'm holding a box. Geek Fuel sends me a box every month. Similar like Loot Crate is full of T-shirts and gadgets and magnets and cool things that are applicable for that month. $15 a month, I get it on a regular basis. For entrepreneurs in San Antonio, a perfect example is Dom's Chop Salsa, who is using the SaaS software, or like we refer to as Salsa as a Service. So they're delivering it to you, they're giving it to you, they're giving the opportunities for you. There's a huge market there. I don't necessarily know how entrepreneurs can get into that market, but I feel that's a huge move. That's to deliver something to somebody's door, a product, a service, something that shows up that they don't have to go and get. They don't have to go to HEB. They don't have to go to Albertsons. They don't have to go to some random store that is halfway across town to get something specialized for them. In my opinion, that's the future of internet commerce. And I feel that entrepreneurs, especially in San Antonio, need to hop on that bandwagon. A little bit more expensive, but in the long run, totally worth it.
Well, there's a behavioral economics term called transactional friction, and it's the actual work and process of making a transaction, and we are able to enjoy things a lot more as humans when that is diminished. So, for example, going on an all expenses paid trip, you just go and enjoy it. You pay it all up front. You don't have to bust out your wallet every time you have dinner, or there's a bus that picks you up at the airport, takes you there, takes you back at the end of the trip. Your bar tab is picked up, all that stuff is gone, and so you get to enjoy the event itself. It's the same concept, like if a bunch of guys go out to dinner or drinks or whatever the case may be, and one guy picks up the tab and they go out every Friday. Well, if you just pass that around, everyone is going to enjoy that type of an event, that Friday drinks, Friday happy hour, that much more, because you pick up the tab every however many people there are in the group weeks, and you end up paying the same that you'd be paying if you paid every single time, but you get that like warm fuzzy feeling of, I just walked and had a good time with my buddies and left. There wasn't any transactional friction in that exchange. And a lot of these, like Geek Fuel and like Misto Box, it's a coffee subscription that I just signed up for, or like your Blue Apron thing. You sign up for it, you pay for a big chunk of things at once, and it just starts showing up and taking care of that need.
No, and I get it, but for like the smaller folks, like here's the facts. Like to mail one medal is $2.60. $2.60. Like that is my cost, like to mail one medal, which is like crazy when you think that Amazon's mailing a bike for free if you have Prime, And I think that's like truly a challenge for small folks. I think like how smaller entrepreneurs can, Fiesta Metals Pub Run SA, you know it. But I think that where the small entrepreneurs really have to sell it is on their story.
So
right, if people are going to pay for shipping, they either need to do one of two things. You either need to increase your prices and have free shipping, or you need to make sure you have a story. And like for me, it feels disingenuous to like raise my prices on a per item basis versus like saying, look, if you buy one, it's going to hurt you, but if you buy three, you're going to be doing good. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of the model that I've adopted, and hopefully it doesn't screw me over. But at the same time, I think that is going to be a very interesting challenge for local entrepreneurs.
So I've got a family friend who did something relatively creative, and it doesn't apply to everyone, but he basically makes ammunition. So he would whatever you call taking spent ammunition and recycling it, but he sold ammunition. And so he's basically shipping lead. So that's not a cheap prospect.
Right.
But the USPS had those like flat rate shipping boxes, and there's no way you're going to be able to ship lead any cheaper than whatever fits in this box, and being able to load it up with ammunition that's really pretty compact and you can put a lot of ammunition in a little flat rate shipping box. And so he took some, not loopholes, but some creativity that fit his business and found a way to serve his market pretty well with the options that were in front of him. And it's a unique situation. It's not like a flat rate shipping box is going to be a great option for a Fiesta medal, but it turned out that there was a great option out there for his specific use case. So I think that entrepreneurs are by necessity looking for opportunities and creative solutions to whatever problems show up, because I'm sure his shipping costs were a huge problem until he made that discovery.
Yeah, before.
So I think there are ways to do it, and that's one of them. A little anecdotal story around it.
Hey, just look at this. Look at where your Warby Parker glasses went, Drew. It went into entrepreneurs in e-commerce shipping. Amazing. The SATechDad podcast right here, man.
We even talked about transactional friction, one of my favorite topics. Very nice.
No, we lost Corey again. I guess he got in trouble with the FBI again.
Man, that Time Warner 300.
I already have a complaint put in right now. I'm like,
yeah, dude, you need a downgrade. I think I'm on Time Warner 20.
It's literally like,
and I'm in the backyard,
right now,
bro.
It's Windows right now, right? Like, I'm like, all the light dropped off. Did I refresh? Did I stop and start it again? Have you turned it off and turned it back on? Great.
That's like I do.
Ooh. Metal.
Nice.
Yes,
So what's up next,
Well,
man?
real quick, do you have your Fiesta medal on you? Do you have it
I don't. I'm not gonna be that. I'm not gonna shill that.
Okay, well, I will shill it for you because you have had two of the best Fiesta medals I've ever seen in the last 2 years. You had the Big Red Barbacoa last year and the chicken on the stick this year. So SAFlavor.com, I'm sure you can find it there.
I want the chicken on a stick because that thing's happening.
It is. Speaking of other things that are happening here in San Antonio, that's what we call a transition here in the biz. This weekend is a pretty interesting thing. TEDx San Antonio.
The speakers, the talkers, the tech gurus are all going to be there.
I'm interested to see that. It's happening at the event center at Rackspace. It's going to be pretty interesting. A lot of San Antonians sharing their stories, sharing their passions, and should be some good stuff. This is the third or fourth year that we've had one of these, right?
Yeah.
I know it's the third. I know there have been three. I don't know if if there are more than that.
Yeah. So the first year that I was here in San Antonio, it's probably been 5 years actually, because the very first year that I was here in San Antonio, I said, hey, let me, I tried to go and I signed up for it and I sent off an email. It's like, you have to fill out this form about why you're interesting enough to go to this thing. It's like, this thing is crazy. I guess I'll enter it. And then, I never heard anything back from it. And I'm like, okay, fine. I guess I'm not interesting enough. And then I'm checking my email and I see that I have a message in my spam folder like 2 weeks after the event's over. Like, hey, Alan, we would like for you to be there. Oh, come on, get your stuff together.
So what we need to get an SATechDad podcast for TEDx next year.
Well, yes. There we go. We can see if we can get on there. Between the four of us, we could probably
just an SA flavor talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I support this.
Absolutely. I've not had much good luck being accepted to speak at things. I missed the deadline for San Antonio WordCamp last year by, 17 seconds or something like that. And then they, so apparently they didn't think I was interesting enough either. So we'll see what happens there. Did any of you guys get tickets? I've got other commitments throughout the day, but I won't be able to make it. But are either of you guys going?
So this is the second year that I haven't gone. I wanted to go. I was going to buy tickets. I actually put in my name for the whole thing, but due to other commitments, I can't make it. I'm a big fan of the TEDx series, whether it's San Antonio or California or whatever. I love the TEDx series. There's some fantastic speakers, fantastic feedback that you get from other people. I stream them regularly. It's great, but I can't make it this year. So I'm hoping one year to sit there and just like spend the time. It's funny, like when you sign up for the ticket, they're like, can you be here from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.? Can you be here all day? And I was like, sure. Yeah, all day. Saturday. Yeah, okay. But I would love to do it. I would love to participate in it. I feel that they're gonna have great speakers. I'm sad that I'm not gonna get it this year. I'll catch up on YouTube and see all the speakers. But man, what 1 year? If not this year, next year, I need to go. I want to see the speakers live. I'm very curious to see how that community works, honestly. So, Drew?
I'm in a similar boat. I don't have tickets to go due to prior commitments. Being a dad does that to you. However, I know a couple of people who are on the board, on the committee that does a lot of the vetting of speakers and the training of speakers. So one of the things that I would like to get more and more involved in is this kind of a format. And I think it was a couple of weeks ago, San Antonio actually hosted the Pechacucha, which is kind of another type of format along those same lines that you have 20 images for 20 seconds each, and you talk for the sum total of your 20 images. So it's kind of it gives you some constraints, and then you're able to present in that format. And that's another one that I've really been wanting to go to. And so plan to get involved in the behind the scenes, and that ought to get me in next year. But it's one of the things that I have on my to-do list for this year.
I have no idea about TEDx San Antonio. I'm completely out of the loop, so don't ask me any questions.
All right, we won't.
Why is that, Garrett?
One day, sir, you will attend. And you
Bro, I don't know. That's just me, man. I'm sorry.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something I do know. Oh, that's called
right?
a
Like,
go.
good
Yeah,
segue,
nice.
bro. Like, good segue.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to throw this out on Twitter right now. So something that's coming up that's really, really cool at the San Antonio Botanical Gardens. My wife actually told me this the other day. We live kind of close by there, and she was driving by. But they're doing this awesome thing. It opens up on March the 5th, and it's called Storybook Houses. And basically, they're building these amazing, like, small houses from storybooks. We're talking like from fairy tales like Jack and the Beanstalk and Sleeping Beauty. And then there's going to be other children's books like Diary of a Worm. I don't know that one, or The Little House. But I do know, The Places You'll Go. That's one of my favorite books to read to my daughter, because when I read it, I find inspiration from that book myself. And so my wife, she said there's like some, I think some professional architects or builders building out there. And then there's also some kids from different high schools that are also building some of these storybook houses. And the thing is, the botanical gardens is, to me, they're just amazing. Like the plants and everything out there. Pro tip, you can pick the oranges that are there. Like, don't let anyone tell you that you can't. Just go do it.
Are you giving me permission, or is that actually a thing?
Just go do it, dude. Like, they're so really good.
I'm sure
I mean,
delicious.
like the peel is just falling off of them because they're so ripe, and like they're the best orange. My daughter loves them, and we're just like, oh. I mean, what are they gonna do? They're just gonna fall on the ground.
Garrett's the guy that's at the tree, like, just freaking picking orange. He's got his Walmart bags, like, filling up.
You wear a backpack.
And then I'm on the corner selling them. I go sell them afterwards.
Well done.
But you got to pay $3.50 shipping.
Pull back. Nicely done. I like it.
But I mean, the botanical gardens are just amazing in general, and I think that
some of the best views of downtown in the city.
Yeah, it's just great. And so this is going to be a great exhibit. It opens March the 5th, and would really recommend getting out there, taking some time, just getting out in nature and in the gardens and enjoying that.
Fantastic recommendation. I don't know that Dr. Seuss was much of an architect, but he was a heck of an artist, and I'd like to see somebody try to execute on that.
I love to do the Dr. Seuss thing, because on a segue, today is actually Dr. Seuss Day. All the schools in San Antonio are celebrating representation of Dr. Seuss. So people are showing up as characters. They're dressed up. They're representing the books. So it's funny that you made that comment. I was like, oh, by the way, Dr. Seuss Day. Hello.
Yeah, it is. My son's been, wearing crazy hats and crazy hair and crazy socks and all different types of things. I think Saturday they're going to do a character parade. So, choose your favorite character.
My daughter showed up, big old hair, like standing up on end with a white shirt, sitting one, and I was like, doing it right.
Yes.
Yep.
Teaching kids to cosplay early.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. You start with Dr. Seuss and you work your way up into the video game world. It's fine.
Oh, you know what, too? I'm going to go off script. This is something we didn't talk about. They don't even know what I'm going to say right now. So crazy. So crazy. So the Magic Theater out, and it's not the one downtown. Don't go downtown. You'll
go
be
downtown,
messed up.
not for the Magic Theater.
It's the not for the Magic Theater. It's the one out I-10 past Days of Allah. You take a right at the Surrey Hotel. And they have this awesome thing. So my little girl's really small. I know these guys have some older kids. My little girl's like, almost 2. And they have this play called Wake Up Brother Bear. And believe it or not, it is it's a little interactive play where it's kind of those books, again, about, Brother Bear not going to sleep and animals trying to keep him up or whatever. And so they do this awesome play that's interactive, and the kids, you have to take the blanket off Brother Bear, and, they get to do all this cool stuff. And for $5, I can't recommend that enough. Like the little, especially if you have a little one, and you're not going to be bored because your kid is going to enjoy that so much that it's just kind of a special event. So mad props to the Magic Theater.
So I have a 3-year-old. Automatically, I'm going to do this. This is happening. So
it's amazing. It's really, really cool. You're in a circle around, and there's just 2 characters, the sister bear and the brother bear. and it lasts about 30, 45 minutes, something like that. So it's like the right attention span for the little kids, and it walks through all the seasons. So it starts off, the bear's asleep because he's hibernating, and then he wakes up, and then he goes to spring and summer, and then fall, and then he goes back to sleep. And it's spoiler alert, the bear goes back to sleep. But
I don't want to do this anymore.
anyway, yeah, I would highly recommend it. $5, and it goes to a great cause. I know everyone loves the Magic Theater, and this is just a really, really unique thing that San Antonio.
So not the downtown one. Where's this other one at?
It's up. It's their educational center, and I know they give classes for kids who are interested in acting. And it's past Days of Allah, and the only way I can say is you turn right at the Super 8.
Okay.
And you turn right at the Super 8. It's like Casabella or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But you turn right at the Super 8, and you're at their little educational building, and that's where they do the play. And it's really, really, really cool. And I would say, if you're kind of wondering, like, how old would your kid be? Like, if your kid's too old, I would say it'd probably work all the way up to 6, 7, depending on how, imaginative that not like maybe innocent still would be the word. But it could work up that. There are several, I think 6 or 7 year olds in the audience, and they really enjoyed it. So
very cool.
So looking at the website, actually, it looks like it goes through till May 21st. So you have plenty of time to hop on and buy tickets and go take your kids. So take the young ones, go see the show. $5. I mean, come on.
Cool. Drop the link in the chat.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Trying to. All right, we got to get this done before Corey has to go off to work. So let's kind of get this thing wrapped up. Thank you, Third Shift. Thank you for watching out for us. Cool. So let's talk about a couple of upcoming events. First off, coming up on Friday, I want to give a shout out to Pub Run SA, who's been catching the podcast a couple of times in a row. So thank you very much. They do pub runs every first Friday. So where are you guys meeting up this time? And then we'll give that shout out there. But great way to kind of go out and meet new people and have fun. 12 bars. It's all. The run itself is free. I don't know if any of the bars are giving away booze for free, but it's always a great way to go out there and meet people and get a little exercise and work off some of that beer as well.
Let's be clear.
And they've been really active on Twitter. So if you do the Twitter, follow them on @PubRunSA. They're great account to follow here.
Let's be clear. I'm not the full pub run guy. I'm the guy that runs to the first pub. And then that's it. That's success.
If you start where they're going to be starting at Pat O's and you start with the Hurricane, you'll be done.
Yeah, you don't have to go anywhere, really. You can just hang out there. And then when everybody's done, congratulate them. Yay!
So here's what we'll do, Corey. Let's do this. Let's show up at Pat O's at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. on Friday the 4th of March. We'll show up at 7 p.m. We'll have a couple of Hurricanes, and then we will take a leisurely Uber to the last bar. It just meets us there, right? I don't see any way that could go wrong. So
I support this, Alan. Yes.
If you don't take an aggressive Uber to the last bar, you'll be okay.
And then be at the end and clap for everybody celebrating, "Hey, good job, pub run!" Yeah.
Kind of do the soccer parents tunnel.
Yeah. Yep.
That sounds like a solid idea. Let's see. Am I still broadcasting, or did I lose it?
Yep,
you're still
broadcasting and recording.
Cool.
Hey, you don't have Corey's internet.
You don't have Time Warner. You're fine. You're good.
You haven't talked too much mess about him yet.
No, I haven't. Time Warner's great. I love those guys. No, so that's Friday night. Then on Saturday, I see what happened. I tried to load the Magic Theater's website. It crashed everything.
Amazing. I love that you're wow. I already posted the link, but I love that you tried to bring up the website. It crashed everything. You're like, yep, nope.
It was bad. It just stopped everything. Okay, so that's Friday night, and then it looks like we've got a pretty interesting day shaping up on Saturday because so we've got not only the botanical gardens, right, like Garrett mentioned, right, so you can get a nice midday start to that. So you can recover from the pub run. But then also the Mockingbird Festival, right? So we talked about that a little bit last week. All of our good friend Dom from Dom's Chop Salsa, they're out there. They're going to be slinging a little bit of salsa, and then a whole bunch of other local chefs, local restaurants are out there as well. Some artists, visual artists, and musical artists out there as well. That's out at Hemisphere Park, so that's going to be a great time as well. And then in the evening, let me selfishly plug the National Night of Improv. The Comedy Sports San Antonio is actually hosting something at their Studio 185, and we're actually going to be hosting another improv group, the Alamo City Improv, and it's going to be 2 different improv groups at once, only $10 for the whole show, and it's about a 3-hour show. So really big thing. I'm personally excited to see improv groups starting to work together. It's a fun show. The one that we do is it's a rip off of the old Whose Line Is It Anyway? But then the second act is going to be Alamo City Improv, and they do more of a short form stuff. And then we're going to have a big improv jam and just let everybody go together and play and just have some fun and make stuff up. So I believe that it's also BYOB, so that'll be interesting as well. $10, come out. At least the San Antonio Comedy Sports is family friendly. I don't know if it's going to be Alamo City Improv, if we can vouch for them on that one or not. But come out and check that out. And then Worst Fest is having the craft beer festival on Saturday as well. We talked about that last week as well. What else are we missing as far as upcoming events? Is that about it?
Sherwood Forest Festival goes all the way through until the beginning of April. So if you haven't made it out there, go to McDade, Texas. Check it out. Tickets are on sale. This week, actually, like I said earlier, the weather is going to be great. So they will be doing their first jousting festival this weekend. So there will be jousting starting on Saturday. So if you guys want to go do that, that's great. If not, I know that next week some kids are going to be on spring break. So you're going to have 2 weekends to go. That's a great opportunity for a thing to do. So definitely check out the Sherwood Forest Festival in McDade, Texas. It's wonderful. It's a great time. Turkey legs had by all. Mead. It's just a good time. So.
Yeah, and then looking down the calendar a little bit, the Paella Challenge is on next Saturday or Sunday. That's a little bit more upscale pricing on that one, but it looks like it's all inclusive. So it's
it's worth it though. People have had I've sent several riders out there and they've really enjoyed it. So
it looks like a blast out of the Pearl. And then Garrett, you mentioned something about a Rubik's Cube competition next week.
Yeah, I don't know if people have been seeing all these billboards around town with like a Rubik's Cube and an arrow. But basically, there's this crazy Rubik's Cube exhibit coming to the museum, and it looks like it's going to be really, really fun, especially for the kids and the kids at heart. So again, I think that opens here. I'm opening up my email really quick. It starts 3/12. And it runs through 5/12, and then just kind of mark this. You don't have kids, and for whatever reason are watching a San Antonio Dad Tech podcast on 3/24. The museum is going to be open up for people, for adults and kids at heart, to go explore the museum, and they've been doing that. It's really cool, their events, and it's called, I think, like Redo Recess. Yeah, and so adults get to go out there and drink and have fun and, go down the big slide. And so it's a lot of fun. So definitely want to check that out.
The spy area at the museum is legit. Like, you spend probably a good small amount of time just doing the spy area. I've done like the parent nights that they do and just shown up and played with all the things. But the spy area, it's my jam. I'm like, it's amazing.
Very nice. All right. Well, does that do it? Does that catch us up for the?
No, Alan, you have it written down and you didn't say it.
Dude.
Alan.
Oh, it's today's
Alan.
Texas Independence Day.
Texas Independence Day.
It is in 1839.
1836.
What's that?
36.
36. Yes. They Texas declared their independence from Mexico. So yada yada yada. Here we are. So I'm celebrating by drinking a delicious beer from a Texas brewer. Thank you, Freetail Brewing. So if you're not working tonight, I recommend that you have.
Right. And tonight is when we declared our independence. Then the Alamo ended up falling on March the 6th. And then the Battle of San Jacinto was a little bit later on. And that's, for folks who don't know, might be new to San Antonio, that's what Fiesta is all about. It's about celebrating the Battle of San Jacinto.
History. Ladies and gentlemen, history. That just happened.
History. Yes.
Drop it.
So,
and you know what I noticed, too? Here we have all these little numbers next to us for people giving us high fives. I feel like it's almost, what's that show before, pardon the interruption, on ESPN?
Around the Horn.
Yeah.
There's no way to
Around the Horn. It looks like Drew is the winner of the Around the Horn.
It's the hat. He's wearing the hat. Like he's got the new Warby Parker glasses on. Everybody's for Drew right now.
That's only because I can't give myself high fives. So.
Oh, okay.
You've been going
here, right here. Give you some props.
Wi-Fi.
So the other nice thing as a hat guy with Warby Parker is I get to try the same glasses out with all of my hats.
Nice.
I'm not going to walk into some, Eye Masters with a stack of hats.
It would be prohibitive to carry around all that many hats. That's a good point.
It would be.
You would look like a total dork.
I do, but I get to do that at home, which is nice.
All right.
That's probably
Hey, thanks for letting me hang out with you guys tonight. I really appreciate it.
We'll definitely invite you back, especially for Fiesta, because you're like our Fiesta guy. So we'll definitely have you back on for this. It was great having you on. Thanks for watching, everybody. Pub Run, always great to interact with you on here and on Twitter. And we'll see everybody the next time.